Alrighty, welcome back to another state test standard review video. Today we are talking about standard 8.SP.4, which is mainly having to do with the topic of two-way tables and relative frequency. Only a couple questions on this one, so let's hop right in. A researcher surveys 60 employees at a company about their highest education level and the number of years of experience that they have. The results are shown. 40 employees have a bachelor's degree. 20 employees have at least 5 years of experience and a bachelor's degree. 15 employees have at least 5 years of experience and a master's degree. Complete the table to show the results of the survey. So all we're given at the start is a total of 60 people, which matches our total at the top. We have to fill in what we know based on the clues that they give us. 40 employees have a bachelor's degree. So you see that bachelor's degree is one of our columns. Okay? So if 40 people have a bachelor's degree, that would mean that our total of bachelor degree people is 40. 20 employees have at least 5 years of experience and a bachelor's degree. So we need to figure out what box this goes to. So we have the bachelor's degree column still marked here. At least 5 years experience is here. So these boxes will meet right here. 20 employees, so we put 20 in here. They have 5 years of experience and they have a bachelor's. 15 employees have at least 5 years of experience and a master's degree. So we're going to do the same thing. 5 years of experience is our top row. Over to master's degree. This is where they intersect, is this box. 5 years experience, master's degree, 15 people. And using only this information, they expect us to be able to fill out the rest of the table, which is fine, right? Because if you look on our right, we have total. The total. So if 20 people with 5 years experience have a bachelor's degree, 15 have a master's degree, what is the total amount of people with at least 5 years experience? It would just be 20 plus 15. 20 plus 15 is 35. What else can we do? Well, we know that there's 60 total people, and we know that 35 of those 60 people have 5 years experience. So we go, well, what's left over? That would just be 60 minus 35. 60 minus 35, which is 25. You could do the same thing on the bottom row too. You have 60 here, and you have 40 people with a bachelor's degree, so how many people are left to have a master's? 60 minus 40 is 20. And now we just finished filling out the puzzle. If we have 20 people with a master's degree, 15 of them have 5 years of experience. The remaining people is 5. And you can either figure out this last box a multitude of ways, either by doing 40 minus 20, or you could do 25 minus 5. Either way, you get 20. And that's your answer. So using the 3 clues that they gave you, we were able to fill in the entire table. And that's what they expect you to do. Okay? Let's go to our next question. A restaurant manager surveys 80 people in 2 different age groups on whether they prefer turkey or chicken sandwiches. Which two-way table shows no association between age and sandwich choice? So what this is asking you is, which table shows that age does not have an effect on what kind of sandwich you prefer? So let's look at our let's look at our sandwiches. Let's look at our tables. In part A, clearly you can see that the older people have a majority ruling on turkey. 30 over 10. That's 3 times as many people. People under 30, 3 times as many like chicken as opposed to turkey. So that shows an association. Typically, if you're older, you'll prefer turkey. If you're younger, you'll prefer chicken. C is an even more extreme example of that. People over 30 only want chicken, and people under 30 only want turkey. And B is the same thing but opposite. People over 30 only want turkey. People under 30 only want chicken. That's the very definition of association. Meanwhile, D, it's perfectly split. People over 30, it's a 50-50 split between turkey and chicken. People under 30, it's a 50-50 split between turkey and chicken. That means that your age makes no difference on whether you prefer turkey or chicken. You just like turkey or chicken, and that's just the end of it. Now, can you get a sense of false association? Yes, that is a thing. False positives are a thing all the time. But in a question like this on a state test, this is just what you're looking for. There's no association. You would not be able to look at this table and say, Mr. Deach, you're 36, so I'm going to assume that you like chicken. With table A, you could say, Mr. Deach, you're 36, so I can make a reasonable guess that you like turkey. You can't do that with this table in the bottom right, because it's a split. 3, a teacher surveys her students to find out whether they prefer riding a bike or playing soccer. The two-way table shows some of her data. Based on her data, the teacher concludes that if a girl is chosen at random from this sample, there is a 56% probability that she prefers playing soccer. All right. So let's try to put this together. What is the total number of students that the teacher surveyed? Well, we could fill in a little bit of information. Okay. So we know that 25 plus 26 is 51. So that's going to put a total of 51 here. Okay. And we know that 25 plus 22 would make 47. So there's 47 people who prefer riding a bicycle. There are 51 boys in this survey. So the teacher concludes that if a girl is chosen at random, there is a 56% probability that she prefers soccer. Okay. So here's how we have to think about this. Okay? And this is a tricky question. If all percentages are out of 100, okay? All percentages are out of 100. So what they're saying is there's a 56% chance that they prefer soccer. That means that the remaining percentage of 44, there's a 44% chance that they prefer riding a bicycle. Okay? And you have to look at the ratio there. 22 students make up 44%. So by that logic, how many students make up 56%? Well, to go from 22 to 44, you multiply by 2. Or you could divide 44 by 2 to get to 22. So all we're going to do is divide 56 by 2, which is 28. So that means that 28 girls prefer playing soccer. Okay? Now we have to add our numbers together. What is 22 plus 28? That would be 50. And now you can get your total number of students by adding 51 and 50, which would be 101. And if you add up the people who play soccer, 26 plus 28 would be 54. 47 plus 54 would also be 101. Your answer is 101. All right, let's go to our final question of this standard. A company surveys 200 shoppers to find out what type of bottled water they prefer. Take note, 200 shoppers. That'll be important. The partial two-way table gives the results of the surveys as relative frequencies. Let's talk about what relative frequencies are. Relative frequency essentially just means percent. Okay? So, to look at it this way, men, purified water, right? 0.28. That's 28%. Women, purified water, 0.14. That is 14%. Okay? Your relative frequency table will always add up to 1 because 1.00 is equal to 100%. And like I said, percents are always out of 100. So, it's asking us, what is the missing value in this table for par day? Well, we know how to find this by now. Okay? You take this 58 and you subtract 13. Or you could take this 59 and subtract 14, whichever one you want to do. 0.58 minus 0.13 gives us 0.45. Okay? So then, based on the results in the table, how many shoppers are men who prefer mineral water? So first thing we have to do is we have to figure out what percentage of people are men who prefer mineral water. That is 0.13. So 13%. So to put an actual number to this, we're going to take this 0.13 and we're going to multiply it by our total amount of people. What is our total amount of people? It's not 1, it's not 100, it is the 200 that they told us at the start of the problem. So you're going to multiply this by 200. So 0.13 times 200 would be 26. So based on the results, 26 shoppers are men who prefer mineral water. And that's it. So that's going to wrap up this standard. I hope it was helpful to you. Thanks for hanging out, and good luck on your state test.